What if I told you that Tree of Redemption is the best Mythic ever printed? Don't believe me? Let me explain. Alright, so if you aren't familiar with the Tree of Redemption fiasco, let me set the stage. When Masters 25 was originally announced, it was pitched as one of the best Master sets we would ever see, and it came with a lot of hype. People speculated that the Power 9 and Reserve List cards would be printed. However far-fetched that may have been, it was commonly believed that this was going to be one epic Master set. It wasn't. As preview season went underway and cards began to be spoiled, people were quick to realize that the set didn't seem to be all that it was hyped up to be. It seemed kind of weak, and the final nail in the coffin was Tree of Redemption. People couldn't believe that this card, this worthless bulk rare, was going to be a mythic rare in a master set. The card was just the tip of the iceberg, but it created a firestorm among the community. From average Joes to pillars of the Magic the Gathering community, people tore this card apart. Many people complained that the card wasn't valuable enough to be a mythic. One of the common arguments was that after spending $10 on a pack of Magic the Gathering cards and only having a 1 in 8 chance to get a mythic, it felt bad to open a bulk rare. But what does that mean? It feels bad? It feels bad in what way? Because what does it really mean to open a valuable card in the mythic slot? Remember, you open cards in the mythic slot less often. So if it feels bad to open a mythic rare that isn't worth very much, aren't you also saying that you want to open valuable cards less often and bulk rares more often in the rare slot? Are you saying that it feels good to get bulk rares 7 out of 8 packs? That way you can open one good card for every 8 boosters you open. Is it fair to say that you want to open good cards less often? If Tree of Redemption was just a rare instead of a mythic, all that would mean is that you would open more of them more often. But at least it wouldn't feel bad, right? Let me put it this way. Imagine you open 8 boosters. Which set of 8 boosters would you rather open? Would you rather open Junk, 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 Liliana of the Veil? Or would you rather open Liliana of the Veil, Tarmogoyf, Snapcaster Mage, Ether Vial, Mox Opal, Dark Confidant, Emrakul, and then Tree of Redemption as a mythic rare? Now, obviously, this would never happen, as Wizards of the Coast would never reprint this much value and this kind of density in the rare slot. But theoretically speaking, which set of packs would you prefer? Well, according to people who don't like Tree of Redemption, number 1 is the better choice. I mean, sure, you open 7 pieces of crap, but look, the mythic is valuable. And doesn't that feel good? I mean, the second set of packs has Tree of Redemption with a red symbol. So clearly, that is a terrible choice, right? I mean, you wouldn't want that. Horrible. The point I'm making is that a card relegated to the mythic slot simply means you will open it less often. It doesn't necessarily mean it should be more valuable. I would go so far as to say that it is preferable that they contain no value, but it's hard to convince people of that. Even the loftiest of Magic the Gathering YouTubers have argued that master sets are bad because they don't contain enough value in the mythic rarity slot. It should also be noted that they argue that powerful, expensive cards shouldn't be placed in the mythic rarity slot. The same people who complain about mythics not being valuable enough in a set are the same ones who complain when a valuable card gets printed at the mythic rarity level. So which is it? Do you want valuable cards printed at mythic, or don't you? Personally, I would prefer that they weren't. The problem with the Magic the Gathering community is that over the course of the last decade, we have been conditioned to have an emotional attachment to the mythic rarity slot. In our minds, when we open a card that has a red symbol, that should result in a financial boon. This is not healthy, both for us and for the game. The Mythic rarity was not intended to contain valuable cards. In fact, when they were first announced 10 years ago, there was a large backlash among the community at the time. I know, Magic players getting up in arms about something crazy, but people feared that Wizards of the Coast would use the new rarity to limit the printing of tournament level cards. Players believed that Wizards of the Coast was only doing it to make the game more expensive and more lucrative for the finance community. How naive we were. Little did we know the finance community would become Wizards of the Coast's top priority. Nevertheless, Wizards of the Coast actually responded to the outcry with an article specifying that the Mythic rarity slot was designed with limited formats in mind. Big, giant Timmy rares would frequently dominate sealed and draft, and so printing those cards at Mythic would mean that they would affect limited formats less severely. So the point of Mythic rares was to print things like the Avatar cycle from M15, the Praetor cycle from New Phyrexia, the Titan cycle from M11, and so on and so forth. It's not that those cards aren't valuable from time to time, but ideally they would be the big, beefy jank rares that were fun to open but ultimately weren't super competitive. These are the cards that are supposed to be Mythics, not Aether Vial, not Dark Confidant, not Snapcaster Mage, no, not these cards. Instead, Tree of Redemption should be a Mythic rare card. This is the type of card that should be Mythic, a big, splashy, fun Timmy card. Snapcaster should be rare, not Mythic. Aether Vial should be rare, not Mythic. Dark Confidant should be rare, not Mythic. These cards should be printed more often at a lower rarity and have no place in the Mythic rarity slot. The problem with the Mythic rarity slot is that it takes the place of a rare when you open the pack. That is the problem. Mythic rares should contain no value. They should only appear in roughly 1 in 8 packs, but when you open them, they should take the place of an uncommon. This fixes everything wrong with Mythics, literally everything. The problem is they replace the rare card, which is where the value should be located in the first place. I know some people are going to hear this and they're going to say, oh, you just want valuable rares and valuable Mythics and get 2 of them in a pack. You are not listening. I do not want the Mythics to be worth anything. I want the Mythics to be worth 25 cents, and I want them to be crappy, janky, giant Timmy rares, like they were originally intended. And I want things like Snapcaster Mage and Dark Confidant to be printed at rare, where they should be. So when you open that Mythic rare, and it's a big giant Timmy rare, you know, you can be like, oh cool, I got a Mythic rare, and that's it. It doesn't affect your rare slot, which is where the value should be. But that is why I believe Tree of Redemption is the best Mythic in Masters 25. No question, everyone is wrong. People complain about it, but Tree of Redemption should be Mythic. It's just that Tree of Redemption should take the place of an uncommon in your pack when you open it. But hey, even as a regular Mythic rare that takes the place of a regular rare when you open it, the fact that it is Mythic still means that you will open less of them. So if you really don't like Tree of Redemption, you should still be thankful that it's Mythic and not rare. Be thankful that you will open less of them, because that's how Mythic rares work. Well, I know, crazy. I'm certainly grateful for that. Maybe you should be too. Anyway, alright, thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in the next one.